Hi, all. This is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, where we had another beautiful weather day. Very, 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 very nice out. Beautiful weather. I'm getting ready for baseball tomorrow. The Mets won on opening day. The Yankees won on opening day. So let's do which Met hat should I take? Put this Met hat on. I think that's a nicer one. So the Mets are looking good. The Yankees are looking as good as we expected. Robbie Cano could be a difference maker for the New York Metropolitans. That's certainly a great addition. And the Diaz and Familia in the eighth and ninth innings are pretty decent repertoire. So we'll see what happens with the Mets. I mean, they're a little short on middle relief. Besides those two, I don't think they have any real quality relief pitchers. But we'll leave that to Mickey Callaway to figure out. Was a pitching coach after all, so we'll see what happens. Kind of excited about the rookie first baseman on the Mets, Alonso. Um, they're all looking good. Rosario's looking good, and he should have a good year. McNeil should have a good year. Conforto should have a good year. Cespedes, if he feels like playing and he doesn't pull any muscles or obliques or what have you, he'll do just fine. And they look better. I don't know if they're as good as Philadelphia with Harper or the Nationals or the Braves, but they certainly are competitive. Um, I think it's a tough division. Any one of those four teams could conceivably win. DeGrom is happy with his big contract, so we have a content picture. Let's see if Noah Syndergaard could figure out how to go more than 5 innings and last the whole season. Big question mark is Mats. Who knows, right? Wheeler is looking good. So we'll see. We'll see how the Mets do. We'll see how the Yankees do. The Yankees have their sluggers. They need Aaron Hicks back. I think they're getting him back in about 2 weeks. And the other Aarons are just fine, thank you. Aaron Judge and Aaron Boone. You got three Aarons in the team. How could you lose, right? Pitching, you need a healthy Severino that can go to season, not tire at the end. He is the key to the success of the New York Yankees, by far the key. CC coming back is important too. You need that veteran presence. They got a guy in the minors that's getting ready to come up who could be a number 3 starter. Gio Gonzalez, right? We'll see what happens with the Yankees. In the meanwhile, in between time, the market rallied considerably today. So we're going to go over some of the closing numbers of the Dow and the other indices and all the stocks on my watch list that had substantial moves. And we're going to talk about the stocks that I was so keen on yesterday, CVM, cel-sci, amrn Pharmaceuticals, and Cielos, to name 3 of them that we discussed yesterday. That Dr. J was wildly bullish. I've been tweeting about those 3, tweeting them out yesterday. Amrn lived up to its potential, up sharply. CVM up sharply. Cielos up sharply. I ended my swing trade on Cielos. I tweeted that out. I made I didn't quite get $4. I traded it in pre-market and I got 389. What happened is I put it in at 396 when it got up there. and I forgot to hit extended market, and nothing was happening, even though it was trading above that. By the time I fixed it, these things are quick moving, so I lost a few pennies. No big deal. I sold half of my TWM at a loss as the market continued to rally today. Not a big loss. I think I paid 1605, somewhere around there, maybe a little less, because I think I bought it twice, once lower, once higher. I sold half of it at, I think, 1550 something. Probably closed even lower. We're going to look at the closing prices. Let's get to it. I'm not going to share screen today. I'm going to come back later tonight or probably tomorrow with charts and give me your requests. I already have some requests. I'm going to try to honor each and every request. And I have some good swing trade possibilities for Monday. We'll talk about those when I come back. Meanwhile, I just want to do the closing prices. The Dow Jones Industrial Averages up 211.22. I'm broadcasting now. You can't call me. Are you lost? Yeah, make you left. Okay, bye. Why is it that all the women in my life get lost when they're driving? And I am the director, the direction giver. So if I don't pick up, I know that I'm going to get 5 more phone calls. So it was easier to just interrupt the vlog for 30 seconds and say, yes, you make that left. I'm sorry, I apologize. That was my wife. But my daughters, both of them, they're very good at getting lost too. All right, in any event, they've only been living here all their lives. How could they get lost? Okay, you could tell me your stories about women in your life getting lost as well. I think it's a woman thing. Although some women have really good sense of directions. So I think it's my family in particular. I do know other families with similar stories, though. So, and then again, I know some women who tell me that their husbands have no sense of direction. So I guess if I did a survey, it would even out. It just feels that way to me because that's the situation in my house. Okay. Dow Jones up 0.82 to 11. The Apple, not a big move, up a buck. I think I'm going to limit it to those stocks that made a 3% move one way or the other. Like ACRX up 6%, 20 pennies to 348. A lot of my viewers have been requesting that I chart ACRX. I believe I will. I will chart that one tomorrow, if I remember. I got to write these things down. Advaxis was up 1,435%. No, it wasn't. It was a reverse split. I don't know if it was 1 for 10, 1 for 12, whatever it was. It's up to 591. Last I saw it, it was in the 40s. So it must have been either a 1 for 10 or 1 for 12. AEMD, no, that didn't do much. Down another 2 pennies to 95 cents. That's the one that has a hemopurifier. We talked about it. AFMD had a nice move, up over 3%, 13 pennies to 420. ALNY, 3%, $2.84 to 93.45. That's the RNAi company that has RNAi therapeutics. AMRH up 6%. Nice comeback to 33.5 pennies. I think I got in at 39.5 pennies. It ran to 47 or 48 pennies and down to 30. It's all over the place. Amrn, big move today, 12.5%, $2.32 to 2076. Nice move. I was touting its virtues last night and other nights. I really think Amrn should take out that $23 high and move into the 30s. And if it doesn't do it on its own volition, someone will buy it at this level, I think. It's too good a story. All right, Amazon, nothing today. Actinium up 4.5% to 48 pennies. Of course, I reduced my holdings by half at 46 pennies. So now I'm going to have to pay to get back in a little bit more. Avinger up over 3%, 3 pennies to 95.5 pennies. That's a nice move. I bought some the other day. I think I talked about it yesterday, did I not? Biopath, good move, 10%, $20.39. Good to see that one back above 20. I mean, that's the one that ran to 73, remember? Came back down to earth the same day. And it had been $2 just a few days earlier. They're giving a talk, a poster presentation or a talk on the 1st of April at the AACR. What else? CNAB, United Cannabis, 34 pennies, down a penny, down 2 pennies. It wasn't worth mentioning that one, I guess. Kronos, even though it wasn't down 3%, was down yet another 2% on the downgrade. Some broker had the nerve to issue a sell based on earnings. Come on. You think they're a sell? Nah, they're a buy. Dr. J will wait for the dust to settle and then buy, because I don't know exactly where that dust is settling. CVM, cel-sci Corporation, up 10.6. We've been whispering about CVM for a long time. The data, we're waiting on data, but we're going to have to wait a little longer, because the news today that sent it up was that the Independent Data Review Committee recommends the trials continue because there haven't been enough events. By the way, events short for deaths. Ooh, ugly. I mean, you know, you got to wait for enough people to die to get the data readout. Ooh. Not a good way to handle this. There must be a better way. I mean, if the doggone thing looks like it's working, just stop the trials, give it to everybody, no placebo. What is this? You know, people are dying from this head and neck cancer. If you can improve the cure rate by giving this drug before the standard of care, then do it. Do it already. You don't have to wait for the last event. Anyway, up 10.63% to $3.54. I'm so happy, not only for me, but I'm happy for Buck Creek. If I got it right, Buck Creek? No, Buckhead Creek. I'm happy for you, Buckhead Creek. I don't think I know your real name, but we'll call you BC, Buckhead Creek. Buckhead Creek from Tennessee, right? I think it's from Tennessee, unless it's from Georgia. One or the other, I don't remember. Maybe Buckhead Creek will clarify that. CRISPR up 2.26%, 79 pennies to 35.72. They're the gene editing company. Gene editing, yes. CVM we mentioned, Carvana, didn't do much. Denali up almost 4% to 23.22. You could have bought that below $20 just the other day. So 3.8%, 85 pennies to 23.22. It's a nice move. It made a couple of nice moves over the last few days. Editas, same thing, 3.47%, 82 pennies to 24.45. Another gene editing company. Exo had a nice move. Good for Jigglypuff. 3.29% to 251, 8 pennies. Glad to Jigglypuff got a little pop out of that company. Elf down 0.84% or 9 pennies to 10.60. Why do I mention it? Because we charted it yesterday at the request of Jigglypuff, and Dr. J said it's a good swing trade. If it comes back down to, let's say, 10.50, you put a stop loss at 10 and a target at 11.50. Well, I went in at 10.63 and again at 10.51. So I bought it twice. I think I'm looking okay. I'm happy with my swing trade potential. I will be looking for 11.60 or so. Stop loss at 10. What else moved? Geron didn't do much. We charted athx yesterday. That was essentially flat today. Immunomedics was up 3.5% to 19.21. That's a nice move. It was as low as 12 not long ago. Up 64 pennies today. Biotech is showing some signs of life, I'm telling you. Mankind up over 2% to $1.97, inching its way back to $2. Mankind, tremendous drug. It's inhalable insulin. We talked about it, a mealtime insulin that seems to normalize the blood sugar, the AC1, just like you and I would have AC1 after eating. Same kind of levels. So it's like a tremendous drug for, especially for type 1 diabetics. And you could, bring it to a restaurant. It's not a big thing. It's a small inhaler. I understand some people have trouble getting the hang of it, or maybe I'm not sure what the problem is with it, but it's been slow to catch on, but I think it's beginning to gain traction. NEO made a little move today, up 2% to 510. It's still too early to buy. The dust hasn't settled for NEO yet, in my opinion. Novavax doesn't do much after the collapse, 55 pennies, up 2%. Here's a big mover. ANKS up almost 10% on the day, up 4.5 pennies to 56 pennies. Nice move. ANKS have been depressing me greatly, so it was a little relief rally for Dr. J anyway. Prothena up over 3%. Nice to see that back on track, back over $12, up 37 cents to 12.13. What else? The RUT was the smallest of the gainers today, up only 0.3%, or 463 to 15.39. That's why I didn't get too badly hurt today with my TWM. SEEL up 17.48% to 336. Guess I'm happy I exited at 389, but I think it still has life. Good. It's a very good central nervous system pipeline. So it's a stock to watch, not to give up on. And I haven't given up on it just because I sold at my swing trade. There's always buying in the future, right? You can always buy what you sold and sell what you bought, and it never ends, right? Sesson had a nice pop today, up 7 cents, a bladder cancer drug. 7.29% to $1.03. Nice comeback there. The S&P was up 0.7% to 2834. Let's see what else. Nothing much that I see. Trove up 3% to 375, up 11 pennies. Oh, Trans and Terex, we've talked about that one. Nice pop, 6%, 14 pennies to 238. Very nice pop there. VKTX, fasten your seatbelts. It's taking off. 17%, $1.43 to $9.94. Maybe that's one we should take a look at, chart it, and try to figure out the cause of that pop today. That's another one I got to add to my list. Voyager didn't do much today, but it got back above $19 to close at $19.14, up 15 cents. I guess that's about it. So the highlights of the day were CVM and amrn, which we focused on last night. So what are we going to focus on this weekend? I hope more highlights. I hope whatever we focus on this weekend will foreshadow big moves next week. I hope that's the case. I think I made a decent trade with ELF today. We'll have to see how that plays out. You can't be sure of these things. I was kind of sure that my call on the market direction was going to be correct. As it stands now, it's not looking too good. It's looking like Dr. J's first bad call on the direction of the market. First bad call in a long time. Not my first bad call. Still not throwing in the towel until it takes out the double top at 26,009 and 26,241. If that goes, then Dr. J says, I was definitely wrong. Now Dr. J is saying, I was more than likely wrong. So this has been Dr. J reminding you to do your own due diligence, that my opinions are strictly of my own and do not constitute investment advice, that you should please subscribe to this vlog because you're going to learn a lot. You're going to get some tremendous information. You're going to pick my brains. I'm going to pick your brains. We're like a family on this vlog. We're a small family. We have only like 1,100 subscribers. We're going to go up from here, but for now, we're like a small family. What's 1,100? It's a village. You know, we all share our ideas on this vlog. I get good ideas from you guys. Hopefully you get good ideas from me. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, share the link, write comments. I love hearing from everybody. I get a lot of comments not only on YouTube, but on Stock Twits. It's athx, JERCHESS. And same for Twitter. I don't use Facebook. Maybe I should, but I don't. And what else is the story? That's about it. It's time to say sayonara, shalom, au revoir, arrivederci, ciao, see you later, alligator. Bye.